Hello, everybody. Let me get, all my signs are flashing up. There we go. Welcome, Capt Ron and First Officer Dieter, Technical Officer Dieter. We're holding down the fort tonight, and we're glad to see you all. It is the weekly edition of Fearless Flight Live, and you all know that this is the place you want to be if you have a fear of flying, if you know somebody who has a fear of flying, or you just are fascinated with airplanes and flying. So welcome to the show. If you've never been here before, please, if you're watching it live or the replay, please leave a comment. Let us know anything really, what you like, what's bothering you, things you'd like us to talk about. All that is really helpful. Let's see. Have I flown in the last week? No, I'm still recovering from my trip to Manila a couple of weeks ago.
Well,
So,
and you were already on the East Coast, and we have a special, hopefully a special announcement for East Coasters and even people in Europe that follow us. So
exactly. Yeah, that's true. That will be helpful for people in Europe, and even in, let's see. No, the evening actually works for people in Asia. So, all right, this is our Birds of a Feather group, private Facebook Birds of a Feather. And we encourage anyone out there who has a fear of flying to join that. And it's free. And there's lots of great energy in the group there. And we have some special treats and invitations for Birds of a Feather. Dieter and I were just talking just a few minutes ago about having another free webinar coming up for people in Birds of a Feather. And we'll discuss that if we can. Tonight, I left this in from last week, and this is an Air Hollywood class that's coming up October 18, 19. We apologize. We did not get the details out tonight. We promise we will do it by next week, as well as the Phoenix flight, which will be the week following. This will be our last flight, certainly here in the west part of the U.S., so if you are getting ready to fly in the holidays, this is the place to do it. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Birds of a Feather Code of Conduct. We had something come up, and we'll touch on that. I'm going to highlight the upcoming live group coaching webinar next Thursday, a week from this Thursday. And I'm going to tease you with some of the slides and topics that we're going to talk about. And as always, questions and comments that you might have. Okay, so here's the big surprise. First of all, this Thursday, or a week from this Thursday, I'm sorry, August 15th, 2024, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, is going to be our current monthly August live monthly group coaching webinar. And that's everything that we always do as a standard. However, I have been fielding some requests, or at least some mild complaints that, geez, Ron, it's so late out here. And having been in the West Coast, or on the East Coast, I'm sorry, last weekend, I can identify with that. So we're going to try this month to offer a second monthly live group coaching webinar on August 17th. That's the Saturday following next Thursday. And we're going to do it at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, because it helps. We're hoping to get more people in general, and we're hoping to get more people live, because there's some energy that's a real benefit to coming live. When you agree, Dieter? Just
absolutely. I think everyone that's ever attended one of these live would much rather be on there and be engaged with others. Watching the replay is great. I highly recommend it if you can't attend any other way. But yeah, like Ron said, there's something to be said for being live.
And remember, this live monthly group coaching webinar is for you. It is to keep you current, not unlike how Eric and I had to stay current, and Diane for that matter, as flight crew members. It's the best. We had a couple of comments last week. People said this was the best one ever, and that's really music to our ears. So come and join us. We always have some content that we'll be talking about. This next Thursday is going to be talking about turbulence in great detail. We hope to make you so bored with turbulence that it never bothers you again. All right. and we're going to talk about everything from soup to nuts, everything from what causes it, talking about the clouds, and talking about how we deal with it as pilots. It keeps coming up. It's one of the recurring things over the 37 years that I've been working on this. And you will be able to attend it both on Thursday night and again on the following Saturday.
Well,
And
let me qualify that. You can choose if you do it one time, right? You can sign up just for if you do it, or if you're a member of the Fearless Flyer Club, then Ron is correct. If you're a member of the Fearless Flyer Club, or if you are currently enrolled in the 201 online course, that's when you actually get the opportunity to come to either one or both for free, because it's included in the Fearless Flyer Club, all 3 tiers. So it doesn't matter which tier you're at, you can join. You still have to register, but as you know, you can bypass the payment.
good point, Dieter. Good point. So if you're a member, not only do you get to attend both of them if you want, because they're always going to be different people, different questions, but you can get all the other benefits that go along with being a member. And you never know when we're going to pump out a special. Like we might have a cause for celebration next week and come up with something, but whatever. Okay, so enough said about that. Code of conduct. We had something come up. The person contacted Dieter directly, and turns out they were not part of our group per se. And well, why don't you tell the story, Dieter, just briefly, how we became in contact with people? And I think you're frozen.
Yeah, I'm noticing that. I see you moving. Can you hear me still?
Loud and clear.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, it was a personal Facebook Messenger message, and the person I'm also helping out. Some of you know that another now Fearless Flyer, Stephanie Bernier, she's hosting another group for fearful flyers, and so she's asked me to just help out there. And the person contacted me, and I didn't really know which group, and the person shared with me both her experience as well as the images of the exchange. And yeah, we called this, birds of a feather code of conduct, but it's really I want to celebrate each and every one of you, because I'm just looking at just the last couple of posts in our Birds of a Feather group, and I just, it's amazing, the support, the nurturing, the just help and care that you guys are showing. So but in general, these guidelines are really important because they foster and nurture trust. And as you know, trust is a vital component in overcoming your fear of flying. Ron, would you say that?
Absolutely, absolutely. And so we came up with some guidelines, and these are fundamental, and I would say I hesitate to ever use common sense, but I would say they're tenets that most people abide by. So we just thought we'd go through these, because again, at first we thought it happened with members of Birds of a Feather, but it didn't. So we're grateful to all of you for the conduct that you've displayed on this. And it's vitally important to a lot of people. I get a lot of people when they do the 15-minute call, they say, "How did you find us?" Or we say that, and they say Birds of a Feather. So respect and empathy. We all want to be treated with respect and empathy, and understanding that everybody's experience with flight anxiety is unique and personal. Confidentiality. like most therapeutic venues, we really encourage and insist people to keep the confidentiality. For some people, that's an important thing, because they work in places where they at least are sensitive to the fact that they wouldn't want everybody around them knowing that they had a fear of flying, until hopefully they get some mastery over that. Be supportive in your communication, and avoid criticism and judgment. We always, not always, we sometimes think that we have the answer for people, but the most important thing we can do is the next one: active listening. Make sure you get it right. I thought I heard you say, are you asking this? Are you saying this? And then if you provide feedback, I really, unless you really have something is going to work, I'd be cautious about feedback, but constructive feedback, and maybe share more of your experience rather than your specific feedback so much. We want to be inclusive. We totally encourage diversity within the group. We want everybody to be inclusive and open-minded, respecting our different backgrounds and cultures. And we do get people from other cultures around the world occasionally. Participation, engage. We want you to engage actively in group discussions, share experiences, and please maintain boundaries. And that's where this issue came with that Dieter had to handle. People were judging, and which is number 9 there, or the next one, non-judgmental space. This is a place we want you to feel like you can come to not be judged. That is one of the common experiences for people, even within their families with loved ones, who just don't get it. One of the best benefits to Birds of a Feather is that this is a group of people, peers like you, who do get it. Encouragement and positivity goes without saying. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me just say that about that non-judgmental space. And I know this is a little bit the therapist in me coming out, but the real importance here is that one thing that Ron and I really understand, not just because we're humans like you, but because judgment is at the heart of the pain that you carry with regards to overcoming the fear of flying. And I'm talking about self-judgment, about, the last time you walked off a flight, or the last time you didn't even fly, when you had to, the judgments that are going on internally, right? And it's so easy to transfer, as we in psychology we say, transfer or project them onto other people, and sometimes we do it in such a way that we're not even thinking, and that's why we wanted to point that out. You might be very harsh internally on your
I was gonna say that's the biggest problem, is we're already our worst critics, and
yes.
so we don't need any help from the outside. So anyway, yeah. And then of course, we don't tolerate discrimination of any sort. We accept everybody here. Be responsible when you're sharing experiences, mindful of the impact of your story might have on others, and try to inspire and support rather than overwhelm. Although sometimes I realize that the stories can be overwhelming for people. And make sure that you reach out to others, including Dieter and I and the staff here. So we do maintain a commitment for growth, and we encourage that in others. Recognizing that overcoming flight anxiety is a journey that requires patience, effort, and mutual support. And it's not the destination. It's a journey. It truly is a journey. And finally, seeking help. If anyone expresses extreme distress or a crisis situation, encourage them to seek professional help and provide resources or context. And that's where we come in again. If you have any doubts, refer them to either Dieter or I, and we will, by all means, reach out to help for them. If you've ever been on a 15-minute coaching call, I don't know what I'm doing, coaching call, you know that I offer my personal cell phone, and if you're anywhere where you need some support, let me know. Okay.
Well, let me just say one thing. I know everybody sees a little bit of a different feed in the group, but I'm looking at the top 3 posts here, and all of them contain the word appreciation, two of them gratitude and thank you. So it's really, really amazing to read through them, and that's one of the values actually. Maybe one of these days we're gonna actually show how you can search for specific keywords. So for example, turbulence, since it's a good one, and then the posts that other people have posted before you that have to do with turbulence specifically, Facebook will try and bring those up for you. And I highly recommend that, because this group has been going on for years, and a comment that somebody might have made 3 years ago may just touch you in the right way, that gives you that little bit of extra boost and confidence. So I highly recommend searching for the keywords or triggers, as we call them here, and let Facebook show you the posts that are related to that.
I thought I was going to have you call 911 here a minute ago. So I found out it's lingering kind of a little bit of bronchitis when I went to the doctor today. So anyway, okay. So now we're going to just tease you with some of the topics that we're going to talk about next Thursday when we deal with FearlessFlight techniques for dealing with turbulence. What is it? We're going to talk about the many, many reasons. We're not going to, because a lot of it's simplistic, but we want to give you a deeper foundation for understanding turbulence. If nothing else, to give you some education that you can change the cognition, so you don't get in there and just immediately melt down into victim and wonder what the heck's going on. So we're going to talk about turbulence in great detail. And along with that, we're going to give you a comprehensive guide to how to understand and manage turbulence in aviation, both how we do it as a pilot. I hope we can get Eric on board, and we'll talk about experiences. What's the worst we've ever had? I know some of you out there are always looking for that. We'll try to give you some anecdotal stories that we've had, and one comes to mind for me when I was going down into Orlando one day out of Columbus, and we actually turned around and went back to Atlanta. Like I said, we're going to explain it in great detail. What's severe, moderate, light? What are the how do we get that? There's actually a criteria in the Airman's Guide that tells us exactly how to judge and report whether it's light, moderate, or severe. We'll talk about the different kinds: CAT, thermal turbulence, mechanical turbulence, and wake turbulence, and give you a thing on that. We'll talk about the jet stream and how this is what's responsible for the weather around the globe. And it's constantly changing. You can see this is just one instant in time. And we have these 4 polar jet streams around the globe, 2 in the northern hemisphere, 2 in the south. And we'll show you how we manage the flights, how we flight plan. How does that affect? Like you can see, if I'm going across to Europe, I may want to take advantage of the jet stream if I'm going eastbound, and I may want to stay out of it if I'm going westbound. And then here's the slides where we'll go into detail about what is clear air turbulence, why can't I see it, and if I can't see it, how can I predict it and manage it. The second type is thermal, and this is why sometimes people will tell you it's better to fly in the morning than in the evenings. And then mechanical turbulence, that's really the essence of all kinds of turbulence, but this is the nuts and bolts of it. And whenever air runs into something, bumps into something, you can put a fan on in your room and put some dry ice or some smoke behind it, and then put cards up in different places around the fan and watch what happens to the airflow around the fan. We'll be talking about that. And then wake turbulence, just simply following another airport or airplane to the airport, or climbing out behind another airplane. We'll talk about, I think this you'll find really interesting. We'll talk about all the types of clouds that you can see out there. because not all clouds are created equal. And people, some of you out there get triggered just at the thought of clouds. Pardon me. Because so many of you connect that to turbulence. Not true. Some clouds are very stable and don't bother us at all. And what kinds of cloud types and what kinds of turbulence do we generate from that? Okay. And again, you can see how expansive that is. There's 10 types of clouds if you're a meteorologist. And then the biggie, can turbulence bring down an airplane? We'll talk about that. And if you're really lucky, I'll throw in an accident. We've been trying to bring out some history and show you not the tragedy of the accident, but what we learned and how it made aviation safer. There's one that was very important that I used to teach all my pilot followers, and we'll be talking about that. And then we'll get into pilot strategies. How do we deal with it? You're probably back there thinking, geez, are those guys alive? Are they awake? Don't they notice what's going on? And we'll let you in on some insider behind the scenes information on how we manage the flight. Do we care about you? Absolutely. But we're selfish. We care about ourselves first. And we're not worried about the turbulence. We just don't like to sit there and be annoyed like you are. And so that's our primary motivation. So while it's sometimes unsettling, it's a normal part of the flying that is well within the management capabilities of modern aviation practices. And next week, we're going to give you everything you ever wanted to know about turbulence and hopefully more so that you can put that in the backpack and never have to worry about it again. All right. I think you're frozen again, Dieter. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I have to work on my own equipment, I guess, rather than troubleshooting other people's.
Well, it's really different that you're having the problems and not me. So
yeah.
As many of you know, I just moved back into my house. I got junk all over the place, but the first thing I did was get my studio set up, and it seems to have paid off. Everything from planning the repeater Wi-Fi routers that I have and all that. So any questions or anything, Dieter, that are open out there?
Well, there were two questions. Number one was the Air Hollywood class. So hold on, I'm trying to turn this on again. As Ron mentioned previously, it's on October 18th and 19th. It's gonna be at the Air Hollywood Studios, which we're excited, and we're also curious because between last year's class and this Talat, the owner, actually has moved the entire studio. So we'll have all this information next week for you. And the big thing is we took to heart the fact that we promised a live stream and then we're not able to, but this year we are gonna be prepared. And so even if you cannot come to the Air Hollywood Studios, we will do a live stream, and we're really excited about that because I know a lot of people actually signed up last year.
Yeah, so we'll be packing our own personal wireless router this time, so we won't have to depend on the one out in the studio there, which was problematic. So and if you're not able to watch it, it's a great way to learn how we prepare people to go flying with us. So mark your calendars on the 18th, and the 18th will be the Friday night before when we do the prep. And then on the 19th, if you can make it to probably Burbank, I got to get on in gear and find the flights. And next week we'll have all the details for you. So all you people that have been telling me that, come on, when are we going to fly again? Here it comes. And we tried to give you 2 months in advance. We'll be into the relatively less expensive fares on Southwest Airlines because we're coming in before the holidays, and with this much time, you can buy your tickets in advance and get a discount there. So, okay, that's all I had prepared for this evening. Dieter, any final words?
Uh, no, I just want to mention again that we will have our monthly group coaching next Thursday, and even while the show was going on, I added the option of the 17th of August. That's Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, for you to join. And another reminder, if you're in the Fearless Flyer Club already, doesn't matter which tier, or you're enrolled in the Click for Takeoff 201 online course, you can attend both of these for free. Okay?
Yep.
So it's really important to mention that, because this is the way you engage with your fear through the medium of online group coaching that's really focused on the things that are meaningful to you. And Kimberly said, thank you. I've missed the last two webinars, hoping to make both of the upcoming ones. Awesome, Kimberly. That's exciting. And we look forward to seeing you there.
So make sure you consider joining. Dieter and I think that the best thing you can do is the 201 course, and then follow up on a longer term with the monthly live group coaching webinars. That is the way to keep yourself current. One of the saddest things is when people lapse, when they don't fly for a while. This is a way to keep you connected and to keep that stuff going there, so you don't have to feel like you're going back to square one already. So, okay, thanks, Dieter, for all the support you give me. Thanks to all of you out there in TV land. We're grateful that you support us in the way you do, and please keep coming back, because evidence is that it works. So once again, it's another episode of Fearless Flight Live. We'll see you again next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.